Dear students, good morning. Today we are going to discuss Unit 2.4 An Epitome of Courage. Let me tell you the meaning of epitome. Epitome means a very perfect example, a very fine example. And the meaning of this title is a perfect example of courage. And in this unit, we are going to discuss a personality who is called one of the greatest scientists in the century. In earlier classes, you might have learnt the stories of such type of bravery, the stories of brave people. Today, here we are going to discuss such type of personality. But before that, let's discuss the warming up activity, a chit chat activity, a strange truth. Handicapped are those who refuse to take up challenges even with all their senses and physiology in perfect condition. Understand and discuss the above truth. It's a truth, it's a proverb, it's universal truth sentence. Handicapped are those who refuse to take up challenges. According to this truth, the people who do not accept challenges or the people who refuse to take up challenges, to take up risks, those people are called as handicapped people. Whom do we call handicapped people? We call handicapped people to those who are unable to speak, who are unable to see this beautiful world, who are unable to hear properly. But according to this truth, handicapped are those who refuse to take up challenges even with all their senses and physiology in perfect condition. Actually, people who have perfect senses, we know we have five senses, and if our five senses are working properly, and physiology means process and functions of an organism, or we are physically and mentally fit, but we do not want to take up challenge, we do not want to do anything, then we may be called as handicapped people. So to understand this truth, I would like to give you some examples. Look at this image, look at this picture. This is Boniface Prabhu. He is a Padma Shri awardee wheelchair tennis player from India. At the age of 4, he blotched a lumbar tumor made him quadriplegic. He is unable to stand, that's why he is confined to the wheelchair. And we see a tennis racket in his hand. He is a tennis player from India. He won many medals at national and international level. He is the first Indian to win a medal in the World Paralympic Games. Though he is a paralyzed person or disabled person, handicapped person, he is one of the well-known tennis player in our country. Now the second example is Sudha Chandran. Look at her right feet, right leg. It is a Jaipur footwear. Okay, it's a Jaipur foot. Sudha is an Indian film and television actress and an accomplished Bharatanatyam dancer. She met a car accident at the age of 16 and lost her right leg permanently. Then she received a Jaipur foot. Her right leg is artificial, that is Jaipur foot, and learned to dance again. That means this problem could not, uh, or we can say that she overcame her disability and again become a very good dancer. Now another example is, she is Vilma Rudolph. You know the world famous story of Vilma Rudolph, who was paralyzed at the age of 4 5 years, and her family doctor advised her that she would not walk on her legs. But let me tell you that in Olympic Games in 1960, she became the fastest woman on this earth, and it's a great feat, it's a great achievement. Actually, she was a sick child who had to wear a brace on her left leg. She overcame her disabilities to compete in the 1956 Summer Olympic Games. And in 1960, she became the first American woman to win three gold medals in track and field at a single Olympics. I think these three examples are enough for you to explain the truth. Handicapped are those who refuse to take up challenges even with all their senses and physiology in perfect condition. Now, how can you encourage such people to change and become confident? What would you like to do uh, about or for such people? Discuss at least 4 to 5 ways you can do the above. Answer is given here directly. I would like to encourage such people by the following ways. First, we should give them respect. With respect comes the confidence to communicate and do things. Let me tell you that suppose you come across such type of disabled or handicapped people, you don't have to avoid them. What you have to do, you have to respect them. And when we respect such people, their confidence will increase and they can mix with us just like a common person. Okay. Second, we can motivate them by telling success stories of others similar to them and what can be achieved with hard work. Again, what you have to do, you have to tell them success stories of such disabled people. Just I told you three examples: Boniface Prabhu, wheelchair tennis player, Sudha Chandran, and Vilma Rudolph. You have to tell them such type of success stories so that they could motivate, and they could also do something like them, and what can be achieved with hard work. And we have to also advise them to do hard work, and nothing is impossible in the world. Then third, we can show them the merits of a never give up attitude. You have to tell them merits, qualities of never give up attitude. We don't have to give up, we don't have to quit, because quitters are never winners, and that's why we have to motivate them. And last, show them how others less fortunate than them have gone ahead because of their positive attitude and ability to take risks. We have to also motivate them by telling these qualities: positive attitude and ability to take risks. If you have these two qualities, then you can achieve anything in this world. That's why be positive towards your life and take risks. And when you take risks, you will learn more things when you take such type of risks. So we have to tell all these things when we come across to disabled people. Now, first activity is given. There are pleasant and polite ways of referring to people with physical and mental disabilities. Fill in the table below. A table is given here: previously used term and new polite term. First, dash visually challenged is a new polite term. Visually challenged means the person who cannot see properly, and previously used term is blind. Okay, you can feel blind there. Second, deaf. Old term is deaf. What is the new term? Hearing impaired, the person who is unable to hear properly, that is deaf person. Then third dash, speech impaired. Speech impaired is a new term. What is the old term? Dumb. Okay. Mad is a old term and new term is mentally disturbed. Don't say that the person is mad. You have to tell that the person is mentally disturbed. Okay. Lame is a previously used term and new term is physically disabled. When we talk about these people, you have to use new polite terms instead of these previously used terms when we are talking about these people. Visually challenged means blind, hearing impaired means deaf, speech impaired means dumb, mentally disturbed means mad, and physically disabled means lame. Okay. Now, second, read the beginning and complete the story in your own words. A story is given, you have a question in writing skill to complete a story. Beginning is given, you have to write the end, or end is given, you have to write the beginning. This question is for 5 marks to you. See, the beginning is given here. Sumit, the son of a shoemaker, was a highly intelligent student in a municipal school. His maths teacher called him Einstein, for he was brilliant in maths. He loved maths. Sumit wanted to study after SSC. However, he suffered from polio and only this part of the story is given. You have to complete the remaining. Okay, read carefully the first part, then you will know what you have to write next. See, I have given here answer for you. He had to give up his desire to study further. Meanwhile, he stayed at home thinking about his future. But his quest for knowledge didn't allow him to give up his education. He started studying hard day and night. He completed his BA degree. One of his friends advised him to prepare for competitive exams. He also helped him financially. His teachers encouraged him. He appeared for UPSC exam and got the top rank in his category. He was appointed as CEO. CEO means Chief Executive Officer. It is because of his dedication, devotion, and determination he overcomes his disability and becomes a very successful person in life. He proved that where there's a will, there's a way. What a perfect example of courage. Okay, this is the whole story. You have to write like this. You can suggest a suitable title for it also. Where there's a will, there's a way, or fortune favors the brave. Now, let's start uh, the passage. An epitome of courage. As I told you that epitome means a very fine example, a very perfect example. We often tend to hide behind our weaknesses, disabilities, handicaps. We know that we often tend means here have a tendency to do something. We know that it is a human tendency to hide behind our weaknesses. If you are weak in learning, if you are weak in to do something, then we hide our weaknesses, disabilities. If you are disabled person, we hide it. We do not want to show it to others. Or if we are handicapped ones, then we do not want to mix with others. It's a human tendency. Or mourn means feel sorry for over them our whole life through. Or we feel sorry that I am not a healthy person, that my right eye is blind, or I am a handicapped one. We mourn, we feel sorrow on our such type of disabilities. But Dr. Stephen Hawking, one of the greatest scientists of the century, did not do so. But one person is exception to this human quality or to this human tendency. And who is that person? That person is none other than Dr. Stephen Hawking. In spite of suffering from a very rare and dreaded disease, we know that he was suffering from a very rare means it was not a common disease, a rare disease, and dreaded means very terrible, very dangerous disease. Dr. Hawking continued his research undaunted. Undaunted means unshaken in purpose. Though he was suffering from such type of disease, he did not stop his research. He continued his research unshaken in purpose. His exemplary. Exemplary means worth of imitation and admirable. Courage should inspire us to do our best even under trying circumstances. If we are facing difficulties, if we are facing problems, then we have to put Stephen Hawking in front of us, then we can overcome our problem. This is the meaning of this passage. Exactly 300 years after the death of the great scientist Galileo, look at the second image. A man with beard. He is Galileo, great scientist Galileo. And do you know what was he famous for? Galileo Galilei was an Italian astronomer and physicist, and he is called the father of modern physics. And we know that he invented telescope. Okay, Galileo invented telescope. He also discovered some planets. That's why he was also a great astronomer. Exactly 300 years after the death of great scientist Galileo, Dr. Stephen Hawking was born in Oxford. After the death of Galileo, 300 years after his death, Stephen Hawking was born in Oxford, London. We know that Oxford is a town, city famous for its university. Two universities are world famous in England, which are those two universities, Oxford and Cambridge. It is said that Oxford and Cambridge universities rule over the world. Okay, so famous they are. He was born in Oxford, London on the 8th day of January 1942. Little did his parents know that one day their little boy would be hailed. Hailed means acclaimed, called as one of the greatest scientists of this century. When he was born, he was just a common baby, and no one could predict, neither his parents also, that this small baby would become one of the greatest scientists of the century. Neither could anybody imagine that his mind would soar up into space like light. And no one had predicted that his mind will would fly up in the sky just like light. More importantly, none could predict that he would be the very epitome of courage. No one could foretell or predict that he would be the perfect example of courage. Okay, understood? This is all about the passage. See the next. Courage is a wonderful thing. We know that courage is a quality, and the person who has such type of quality, that person will be a successful person. That's why courage is a wonderful quality, wonderful thing. It is that quality which makes people not lose heart when faced with a great calamity. Suppose that you are facing great calamities, you are facing great problems, difficulties, and if you have courage, then you can definitely overcome that problem. That's why you should have courage in all circumstances, in all situations. It would not be an exaggeration to say that exaggeration means to make something to seem larger, or the another word for exaggeration is overstatement. It is not it would not be an exaggeration to say that Dr. Stephen Hawking, a living legend of cosmology, he was a living legend. He was a very perfect expert person in cosmology. What is cosmology? It is a science of studying origin and development of the universe. How universe uh, has developed and what is the origin of the universe. That science is called as cosmology. He studied that subject and he is a very fine expert in that subject, and that's why the writer said that Dr. Stephen Hawking, a living legend of cosmology, is the very personification of courage and hope. Personification means best example of courage and hope. Whenever we pronounce these words, courage and hope, then we always remember, or there is image of this person, Dr. Stephen Hawking. Except his mind, his whole body is bound to a wheelchair. Look at this image. He is bound to a wheelchair. He is confined to wheelchair. Only his mind was free. Only his mind was working, and all the body parts were not working, thanks to a cruel quirk of fate. But the writer said that thanks to a cruel quirk of fate means unexpected change of destiny. Okay, actually, he was not 100% disabled, but only his mind was working, and only that mind he became one of the greatest scientists of this century. Yet, he is one of the greatest scientists of this century. Okay, an average child, Stephen grew up to be a normal teenager. Look at this image. A baby Stephen Hawking is there, and he grew up just like a normal teenager, just like other children, full of mischief. Means he was naughty when he was a teenager, as like you when you were also uh, child, then you might have made such type of mischiefs. He was also a mischievous child, and lots of love for music and mathematics. When he was a teenager, he was fond of music and mathematics. These were his favorite subjects, even though his father wanted him to study medicine. But as a father, his parents wanted to learn him or advised him to study medicine. They wanted to see him to become a doctor serving patients. He was bent on studying mathematics. Bent on means determined. But Dr. Stephen Hawking determined to study mathematics because he was very fond of mathematics. The University of Oxford at that time did not have a course in mathematics. But let me tell you that at that time, when Stephen was living in England, Oxford University did not have a course in mathematics, and so he opted means chose or preferred to study physics instead. So instead mathematics, actually he was interested in mathematics, but the course was not available in that university. That's why he had to prefer physics instead of mathematics. This is all about Stephen Hawking. This is the first passage. We will discuss the remaining part in our next video. But before that, let's discuss the questions and answers on this passage. In examination, such type of passage is given to you, and A1 to A5 questions are asked. I am giving you example how to solve the passage. See, question, read the following passage and do the activities. Passage is from We Often Tend Up to Physics Instead. Okay, A1, simple factual question. Write whether the following sentences are true or false. First, Stephen Hawking was born before Galileo. It's a false statement. In examination, in your activity sheet, what you have to do, you have to write complete sentence and then write true or false. Don't write only true and false. Okay. Second, he was a living legend of cosmology. It's a true statement. Third, Stephen loved music and mathematics. It is also true. And fourth, Stephen's father wanted him to study physics. It's a false statement. Write complete sentence. Okay. Then A2, complex factual question. Complete the web diagram. Name various subjects mentioned in the passage. I have given answer for you here. Cosmology, mathematics, music, and physics. These are the subjects mentioned in this passage. A3 question, match the synonyms. Synonyms means similar words. A. First, undaunted. Second, acclaimed. Third, fly high. Four, exaggeration. B. A. Hailed. B. Overstatement. C. Unshaken. And D. Soar. Then we have to match the synonyms. Undaunted means unshaken, right, in front of each other. Second, acclaimed. Acclaimed means hailed. Third, fly high. Fly high means soar. And for exaggeration, exaggeration means overstatement. Okay, now see the next. A4, do as directed. First, courage is a wonderful thing. Add a question tag. It's very simple. When you add a question tag to a sentence, we first write the complete sentence. Courage is a wonderful thing. Then second rule is put comma. We have put comma here. Then find out helping verb. Helping verb is there is. If there is no helping verb, then we have to take do, does and did from the main verb. After that, what you have to do, you have to find out whether the given sentence is affirmative or negative. If the given sentence is affirmative, then question tag will be negative. If the given sentence is negative, question tag will be affirmative. The given sentence is affirmative, that's why here I have written isn't, short form, and courage, third person singular number it, and don't forget to put question mark. So the answer is like this. Courage is a wonderful thing, comma, isn't it, question mark. Second, he opted physics to study, change the voice. First you have to find out object. Which is object here? Ask what opted? Physics. Physics. Start with object physics. He opted, simple past tense is there. So we have to use was or verb after object. Physics was, main verb third, opted to study by him. This is the answer. Okay. Then A5, very important question, personal response question. According to you, what is courage? Explain. If you want to get 2 marks out of marks, then you have to write this answer like this. Answer, according to me, courage is a wonderful quality. Remember 3 points when you write personal response question. First, you have to write response, then explanation in 4 points, and conclusion in 1 sentence. Okay. According to me, courage is a wonderful quality. First, it is an ability to control fear in a situation that may be dangerous. Second, courageous people are brave and confident. Third, it is universally admired virtue. Four, courage is a necessity to overcome fears and achieve desired goals. This is courage according to me. We have to write question like this. Okay, remember all these things. So in this way, dear students, today in this video we have learned only first passage. We often tend to up to physics united of an epitome of courage. For better understanding, read this passage again and again, watch this video again and again. We have also discussed the example of passage, how to write the passage. Okay, read this again and again, and we will discuss the remaining passage in our next videos. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.